welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
Present.
Well done. Thank you. Samantha Haynes. Not here.
Absent.
Okay.
Well, see, here's the thing. Every time you throw to me with this like inflection.
Yeah.
It's like a question. Like Michael Campbell.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I need to have prepared something to say.
Yeah.
Whereas I never actually just give you confirmation.
Campbell, the awkward thing is I've marked you absent for every episode. Up until this one where you've said present.
Or like, you'll be like, Michael Campbell. I'm like, you know what I've noticed, Nelson? And you'll be like, I really just need you to say present.
Yeah. This is annoying that you're yelling into conversation already. Yes. But, okay. Campbell, should we just get into it?
Okay, yeah, if you want. Straight into the business.
Straight into the business.
I think people really like it when we spend 10 minutes not getting to Reddit.
Okay. Think about an interesting story that you've done.
Nah, let's just get into it.
By
the way,
anything interesting.
Just quickly, what made you break there at the beginning?
I feel like I just said Reddit funny.
Oh, right.
Reddit.
Really?
Anywho, let's just get into it.
People waited extra for this.
Next week,
Yeah.
I want you to come up with an amusing anecdote.
Okay.
First say present, I'm here.
Okay, right. Okay, so you want present and then an amusing anecdote.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I can give you an amusing anecdote if you want about, I think I pissed off a woman over the weekend. Do you want it now?
Let's have it, Cambo.
Do you want it now? Or do you want
Apparently,
me to
we're not getting into it.
Look, it's not that interesting, but it is
You've
an
built it
anecdote.
up now. There's this whole thing about not
But
having
I
an
do think every now and then I'll say something, and then later we'll think about should I have said it.
Yeah.
So Stacey and I went ziplining on the weekend,
Okay.
right? So obviously up in the trees and you're going platform to platform. That's how ziplining. What I've done is I've explained ziplining.
Yes. Yeah. Good luck.
And there was Stacey and I, and then there was a family of like 4.
Okay.
And then there was one woman by herself.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you've ever been on a tour where one person's by themselves. Quite an independent spirit normally.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Loved the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Very loudly to the group. The group not always responding.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
I know those type of people.
For example, the tour guide said, this one's quite long. You got plenty of time on the line. So, if you want to scream or holler or whatever, you feel free to do that. And he zips across and then we'll start going. She's like, you got to yell, guys. No one's yelling. And then when she did it, she's like,
Yeah. You're like, I will have fun on this zip line however I want to have fun.
I have fun silently. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But it got to one section. We're up on this little podium thing on the tree, and she's kind of looking around at all the beautiful bushland. Mm-hmm. She goes, "You guys need some like dinosaurs or something to put in here. Just kind of put them around the bushes, something kind of interesting to look at." And just without thinking, I went, "Yeah, just in case you get sick of all the nature."
Yeah.
And the problem with that was that the group laughed.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Yeah. Because, here's the thing. That's fine. Sometimes you need to tell people. Like, I feel like especially that type of person that's all about kind of imposing themselves, a lot. You just need to be like, hey, just check yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need to always talk.
I enjoy myself silently.
Yeah.
You noticed it on that big zip line I just did.
Yeah, exactly.
Nelson, should we just get into it?
Let's just get into it.
Okay.
This first Reddit on Reddit is by Anaresti. The police opened the gates for Capitol rioters. Now, Campbell has been a big thing this week. Pretty hard to avoid on Reddit, to be honest. Lots of posts about this. I kind of chose this one specifically because, there's something that I hate that I feel like I need to point out sometimes. Mm-hmm. We often give shit to, like, the far right when they Okay. Well, before I get into that, the horrible, stupid thing that happened. Just by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So as a like a palate cleanser, your opinion on the Capitol.
Oh, fucking stupidest thing that any person has ever done in the world.
Yeah.
The dumbest thing for thousands or hundred, I don't know how many people there were, to have done. Like, Cambo, one time, I thought I locked my keys in the car. Then I realized that the door was unlocked, so I was like, that's fine. Then I locked the door and closed it, locking my keys in the car. That was less dumb than this protest of storming the Capitol.
I once heard a woman suggest they put fake dinosaurs in a beautiful national forest.
Less dumb, believe it or not. Believe it or not. So, it just like totally insane. Anyway, okay, so, but there is something that I think people are guilty of that really irks me, which is that you see somebody, and using this example on the far right, saying the voting was rigged or something, and it's wrong, and you meme about how dumb that person is. Actually, can I use another example?
Yep.
Thank you. I saw a anti-masker kind of meme against anti-maskers, right? And it had some statistics saying, not wearing a mask, your contagion levels are like 80%. Then if one person's wearing a mask, it's like 40%. And if both are wearing masks, it's only 5%. But there is no context to that at all.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
you're
about...
You're talking about the just rubbery figures.
Exactly, right? And so there's this thing of like, I mean, in that mask example, it's like, okay, well, how long are these people together in the same vicinity? How far away are they from each other? Like, there are so many factors that come into those sort of statistics that putting it out there, to me, is just as bad as an anti-masker saying, oh, masks don't do anything for you.
Yeah.
And so, to me, this post was kind of in the same vein. So this post was a video of people that were letting, so the police were letting the protesters through, like removing the barricades and just sort of letting the protesters pass them. And this, again, to me, is something that's without context.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally. And
because you don't know, the policeman may have said, now, all of you, you're not going to do any riots, are you?
Yeah.
No. Oh, well, in you go.
You all want to use the bathroom. All right. No, but so I saw another video later on, right, which was at a different sort of entry point into the Capitol, which is where the rioters sort of break through, knock over the barricades, push the police aside, like gets a little bit violent. Not too bad at that point, thankfully, but and they storm through. And so I imagine that the police got some sort of call through that was like, hey, there's already people that have broken through. You're probably in more danger from like people coming up, potentially behind you, or, we've already had some people injured because the riots got out of control in these other areas. For safety reasons, just let people come through. I imagine that's what would be the scenario. But this post was very much like, they just let them in.
And importantly, you just said, I imagine that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
But with all of those caveats that you just said, what you're not doing is putting it out there as an indisputable fact.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, this is definitely the reason why they left people through. That's right. I don't know for certain, but to me, the logic dictates that's why. I mean, I know there's already the conspiracy theory circulating and, about like the Capitol Police being in on it. and admittedly, there is one video where this Capitol policeman is like waving people through, which is a little bit different to sort of letting people through. Again, not saying that there's anything necessarily behind this, but and also in that same vein, sorry, just to sort of sum up this point is like on that idea of like, oh, there's a conspiracy theories that police are in there. Like, yeah, police are people too. Yeah. Like, they can have opinions, and they probably should. You're meant to separate yourself from your job and your opinions when you're in a position like that. But it doesn't always happen, and people aren't. Sometimes you might agree with the rioters, and you're less inclined to fight them off when they're trying to push through. So
yeah, and like I need to wonder as well how all-encompassing some of these conspiracy theories are, right? Like, they're the one that the Capitol Police were in on it. If you hold that belief, do you see that footage of the one Capitol Police officer being dragged down the stairs and stomped, and you go, "Oh, he's committed"? Like, at what point are you like, well, maybe it's, like you said, people are people. Some agreed and some didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
Can I say the weirdest thing about that whole thing was that video that came out afterward of Trump telling them to go home.
Yeah.
And he ends it with, "You're very special.
We love you."
But the phrase "you're very special" really sums up so much, I think. Of just like what they need. Yeah. Just a bit of value. You're very special.
Yeah.
I think we should just say that to them all the time.
You're very special.
Like, if they're like, "Oh, I don't like that Biden guy," like, look, you're very special.
Yeah. You're very special, but no. Okay, he is now your president.
We love you. You're very special.
Just that condescending. If the problem is, Trump was not saying it in a condescending way, which is just a problem in of itself.
And I mean, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. We have an acting prime minister at the moment. For one day, we've had him for one day, and he's already come out with an "All Lives Matter" comment.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, we may be making fun of the U.S. politics right now. We're aware.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're not. Look, we're not that much better.
I wouldn't look too hard into our history.
We've done some racist things. I just sort of more on broader strokes on this Capitol thing. It does slightly terrify me, if I'm being honest. Like, going through it all. This has probably been amplified from a couple of weeks ago when I was doing the best of Reddit. And a lot of the top posts about the, police riots, police brutality, and, the Black Lives Matter movement, and just all the like horrible things that have gone on in the world in the past, 12, 13, 14 months. And to me, this is it just keeps escalating. And it really, there is a part of me that is absolutely shitting myself on the inside, like terrified of where this can go, because it doesn't seem like I can't see the end anymore, right? Because previously I was like, okay, insane things are going on, but Trump's, been voted out, it'll pass. Yeah. And that doesn't seem to really be stopping anything. It's funny. Like, I remember when Trump first got voted in, there was this idea that if you didn't vote for Trump, there was still this respect of like, well, he's our president now. Yeah. But that's just totally not the case this time around, the opposite way.
You know what I find really interesting? So there's a guy on YouTube called Philip DeFranco, and he does like an independent news show. And the whole idea behind him is that he's very, very fair and will often show you as much as he can both sides. For example, when Trump was first elected, his like statement was, "He's my president, but he's not my guy."
Yeah.
Right? So, except he's president. I don't particularly love him, but he's definitely my president. Yeah. And when there's things have come out in the past, like there was a bit of footage showing Trump shaking hands with his kids.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't shake hands with a kid in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And it was going around, and he goes, well, if you actually look at the whole video, and the first thing he does is shake that kid's hand. and then go to the other end. And
Right.
like, he's done things
Yeah,
where like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's not all that.
Yeah.
And over the past 4 years, watching him change his opinion
Yeah.
to the point where he is like, oh my God, I hate him so much.
Yeah.
Because he is covering both sides of it and seeing both sides of it. And it's like one side doesn't hold up necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's kind of just been completely changed in 4 years from being like, I will completely give him a shot to
There's
being like,
validation
I'm done.
and-
It's over. He's an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the truth is nobody could really see it before Trump was elected the first time because there wasn't this being in the spotlight 100% of the time. There was obviously horrible things he did beforehand, which people didn't like and were part of the reasons why they didn't vote him in. But it's not until you actually saw him in office and you actually see him now still lying directly to people and supporting, these rioters over just, falsehoods.
Yeah.
Like there is no substance to this man. He is nothing. He is like just the worst thing. Actually, Arnold Schwarzenegger did a video. I don't know if you saw it. And he said, Donald Trump will just go down as the worst president in the history of the world. And I think that that's true.
Yeah.
I think that, I wasn't obviously favorable for Trump to begin with, but I don't think I would have been too naive at that time to say he will be the worst. Yeah. But I think it's safe to say now he is the worst. Yeah. It still blows my mind, and I'm we have a lot of American listeners, and I'm worried for them. I hope that things settle down a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon.
You know what I reckon might help our American listeners? Mm-hmm. If they were to jump in the first link in our episode description and buy themselves a Reddit on Reddit t-shirt, it may soothe something in our accounts.
Yeah. I have actually 35 shirts now, just because every time I'm feeling a little bit upset, buy myself another shirt.
I also did see a conspiracy theory on Reddit that I quite enjoyed, which is they said that I find it interesting that they ran the Hadron Collider in 2016.
Yeah.
And what if we've been split into a new dimension there where everything is the worst version that it could be?
Oh my God, we're in
because
the
that is
worst
the year
timeline
that the election, the Trump election happened. Harambe was shot not long after that. It's like everything that could have gone wrong. We went into that dimension.
Yeah, that's true. Except, I was going to say, except this podcast has become wildly more successful, but that still holds up for the worst.
It's annoying for us. We don't want to do this.
Oh God, not at all.
You, and this isn't a joke, listeners, sat down and said, another fucking podcast. And then we hit record.
Yeah. Let's keep going then, Cambo. Let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit was cross-posted to us by It's the Finkel, but it was originally by Jackson Hayes. How much time needs to pass before grave robbing turns into archaeology?
I think at minimum 100 years. But even then, because that would make it 1921.
Yeah.
If you dug up something from 1921, would you consider that archaeology? Because even then, that's 100. And even then, I'm iffy on that.
Yeah, is that...
It needs to be from 1900 onwards. I think it feels too soon, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it does.
But if you're
then
1880, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's a whole because we're in the 21st now. So that's the 20th and then the 19th. So that's two things removed. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think it has something to do with... I think that is kind of a good limit. Roughly 100 years-ish, but sort of round down.
Round down to the nearest century.
So when we get
minus 100 years and then round down to the nearest century.
Well, because, so I think when we get to 2051, you can do from the 1900s. From
So
1850 to 1951, and then you're fine.
Then so you can go dig up like World War II things.
Yeah.
Because that would be.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another thing. Archaeology is often about like attaining information.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think up until the point that Facebook was created, anything before that point, free game for archaeology.
When was Facebook? 2004-ish?
Ish.
Yeah.
Everything after that point, it's been catalogued. Yeah. We know everything about every person.
When did those, do you remember those CD-ROMs that you would put in your computer?
Yeah.
Like Encyclopedia Britannica?
Yes.
When were they released? Because they obviously have all information on them.
Yeah, but such a flimsy form of, media. Facebook's in the cloud now.
They're digging up stone tablets with things carved into them. CD-ROM's better than that.
No,
interactive for one.
If you dig that up.
Sometimes they have sound clips.
Yeah, but if you...
I remember the entry for Platypus had a video.
Oh. Yeah, but if you dug that up, be ruined. You can't put that into it. Okay, first of all, name a computer that has a CD-ROM drive.
Nelson. It's in a case. It's in a plastic case.
Oh, that's...
I think it'll be just fine. Thank you very much.
That's true. Plastic does not biodegrade. We've got a long time to recover those encyclopedia discs. Okay, yeah, great. Fantastic point, Cambo. But otherwise, okay, this is what you do. Somebody's dead. You find somebody's grave, an unmarked grave.
Yeah.
Has to be marked, actually. I've realized for this point.
Yeah.
It says, John Smith died here. Boy, does he have interesting things in his grave. Just to really make you think about digging him up.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing should be like, okay, let's check his Facebook page. And if he doesn't have a Facebook page, then it's free game. Then anybody can go for it.
Here's what I'm thinking. I don't mind the idea of me being an interesting archaeological specimen. So when I die, I'm going to say, can you bury me with all interesting things from right now? Anything of note from right now. A newspaper about a big event that happened recently, put it in.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Encyclopedia discs.
Encyclopedia discs.
Like
Get me all the encyclopedia discs you have.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't have any?
Yeah. My phone with TikTok on it.
But give me one of those. Do you remember when we were kids, there was like the Age of Empires game that came with like Kellogg's cereals?
That was the greatest time in cereal history.
Chuck one of those in because it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
And then bury me with all these interesting things about my generation.
Yeah.
And then on my tombstone also have a date that it's acceptable to then dig me back up.
Okay.
Being like, he's a relic of his time, acceptable to dig up in, 2107 or whatever.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's a good thing. Maybe we're getting to this sort of consciousness of a society about treating people with respect. Even things as simple as slavery we abolish because we're like, hey, treat everybody equally. I think it now needs to come to a point where we need consent by the deceased as to whether we can dig them up or not. And we'll get to a point where we're like, they did not give consent, can't dig them up.
Well, Nelson, is this PC gone mad?
Oh, I think it's perfectly
you can't
suitable.
even dig anyone up anymore.
Because is it wrong? Let's imagine you are Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that I wouldn't imagine my body is ever going to be dug up. And I think I would be a little bit offended if I knew thousands of years later that I was dug up. There's something wrong about that.
But would part of you be kind of like, so say it's you, right? Mm-hmm. And you pass away, and then for some reason you can view the Earth 1,000 years ahead of time.
Yeah.
And society hasn't killed itself yet.
Yeah.
Unlikely we go with.
Yeah, okay.
And you found out that people are so fascinated with you that they want to dig you up. Mm-hmm. Is part of you like, Like, I really must be something if they're digging me up specifically.
Okay. But then how about if, because sometimes I think particularly in Egypt, maybe I'm making this up, but I don't think so, is like servants or, slaves might be killed and buried with them.
Yeah.
And what if they're like, hey, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't even get a rest in the afterlife because I'm being uncovered because of some bitch who sealed me in here with her.
That's the thing, I think. If you're getting dug up because you are so interesting, you're like, great. But you know how sometimes they're like, oh, look at this body in Pompeii. It's a poor farmer. You'd be like, oh, come on, man. Let me.
Yeah. Just let me die.
So you're saying you need consent from people unless they are of historical significance in some way.
Then it's like, in fact, that's kind of the rule when it comes to like there's laws that say if you're a famous person, you can be kind of ridiculed in media without it being considered like slander and stuff like that. There's kind of certain lines, but in general, that's actually a law built in.
Is that how you guys get away with it on Discord? Because within that small community, I'm considered famous enough that you can ridicule
for us to just say. I don't know if you saw it, but I also posted on Reddit the other day.
I saw.
Okay, good.
I was very
Did you upvote it?
I downvoted it.
Anyway,
He called me a bad host, by the way.
So I think the same sort of thing maybe applies just many years on. It's like, well, we can dig you up because as a famous, interesting person, you kind of have this coming, basically.
Right. But the question is, what is the definition of archaeology? Does it actually state that it is historical things from the past, or is it just things of historical interest?
Yes.
Because if it's just things of historical interest, you can be archaeologist right away.
Maybe
someone fresh in the ground, dig them up.
Maybe it has to do with qualification of the diggers. Okay, but this is what I'm thinking. Okay. We get our archaeology degree. Then we go to the local cemetery. We start digging people up. Think about all the pretty necklaces and stuff that'll get us a bunch of money.
Okay, so archaeology is the study of human activity throughout the recovery and analysis of material culture. Mm-hmm. Don't hear anything about times or dates there?
There is almost... This is basically encouraging us to dig up people.
Archaeology is often considered a branch of socioculture anthropology, but archaeologists also draw from biological, geographical, and environmental systems in the study of the past.
I think you have to have studied archaeology. I know it didn't say it there, but it's implied that you're an archaeologist.
But here's the thing.
think that's the key.
It didn't give a date. It just said in the past. So again, if you died, that happened in the past.
I know. Yeah. No, I'm agreeing, Ken.
Yeah.
But we have to be archaeologists.
Yeah. So
we have to go through the...
We can get like a Cert 3 in archaeology or something from some local TAFE.
An online course.
Obviously. And I will cheat.
Couple of hours. Yeah. You know how there's like normally reading material and a quiz at the end? We just skip to the quiz and Google the answers.
And then we go great from it.
Sorry,
we go on an archaeological dig and find things of value.
Yeah.
No, sorry, interest. I meant interest.
Yeah. Sometimes it's interesting if somebody has been buried with their Apple Watch.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Bunch of gold rings.
We need to really target the rich people, don't we? I like the idea that we're like, scoping out rich people for months, and one of them dies, and we're at the funeral. We're just sitting to the side with a couple of shovels, waiting for the service. I like when they've got, the sort of digger coming in with the dirt to put it on. We're like, whoa. We'll save you a bit of time.
This is of archaeological interest to us.
You know what? He's
buried in a Hugo Boss suit, for one.
We honestly don't want that to go bad. If you leave that for even a week, that suit is no good anymore. Okay, we'll just snap that bad boy up now. Yeah. Anyway,
it's a nice coffin he's got there.
You can reuse that. All right. Here's. Should we do another one? What are we going for? No, let's do another one because I'm only going to do one of the other ones.
All right.
Okay. This is by DFP819. An alien asks you to join them on a trip through the cosmos. You'll experience amazing things, but won't be coming back to Earth. Would you go? Why or why not?
Depends. It depends on whether or not Black Widow has been released yet. Because I do want to see that.
Yeah, that is a good.
Yeah. I'm like, after May, I think that's when it's coming out.
Yeah.
Do I have to go now? That's the first question. Do I have to go now? I'm doing some stuff at the moment.
Yeah.
Give me a year or two to wrap some stuff up.
Yeah. There's some archaeological digs that I want to really get under my belt first. Can't travel the cosmos in my.
I mean, if I'm not coming back, I'm going to rack up a huge debt. I'm going to live an extravagant life for a year or two.
Oh, that's a great
racking
point.
up a great debt. When they come and collect, I'm in outer space.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Like, just get as many credit cards as you possibly can.
Hey, do you think Doctor Who? Mm-hmm. Do you think they could go back to like the 20s, rack up a huge debt, and then just disappear from all of space and time for a while?
Yeah.
Until that debt is null and void, and then come back?
Yeah. Yeah, there's got to be a point where the bank is like, well, we're not getting
no one's
this
seen
anymore.
him in 60, 70 years because now it's a woman. They're never going to think they're going to put that together.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Once the Doctor regenerates, I think that their debt is
Literally
gone.
different. Oh, my God. I never realized that the Doctor was such a scam artist. Okay, great point. Rack up a huge amount of debt first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just happy to leave? Here's the problem with debt. I've just also realized often it just gets transferred to your next of kin.
Yeah, but I'm out in space. I don't see the consequence of that.
You're never going to speak to them again. And in fact, if you didn't tell anybody that, you were going to see this with this alien all over the cosmos, they'd just think like you're dead or something. And they would never get angry at you for the debt that you've racked up for them, Be like, oh, obviously he was really troubled toward the ends of his days. That's why he built up all this debt.
He kept talking about the cosmos.
Yeah. But, I'm so sad he's dead.
Here's my fear. And this is the monkey's paw, so to speak, right? Like you think you have a wish, but there's something about it you haven't considered.
Yeah, okay.
Which is, you go, all right, I'm going to go out to the cosmos with this alien. And I'm never coming back. They're going to show me around. Mm-hmm. But the cosmos is huge.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm going to take first stop, next galaxy over.
Yeah.
That'll take about 140 years.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh no, it's just vastness for that long until I get to the next galaxy.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
He's like, you humans survive for that long, right?
Like maybe to them we're like a moth,
Yeah.
very like we burn such a brief candle.
Yeah. That's such a good point.
So I need to be like, do you have
Yeah.
adequate interstellar travel?
Are we in a compost bin somewhere in the universe, Cambo, that somebody just hasn't bothered emptying out yet?
Yeah.
I think that's us.
I think according to the movie Men in Black, we're just part of a marble being played by a larger alien.
Yeah.
I quoted Men in Black the other day, unironically, but then I didn't tell people where it was from.
What did you say?
They were talking about the Capitol riots and, how does that happen? And I said, well, a person is smart, but people are dumb. And they're like, oh, that's a great quote. Like, thank you. In my head going, that's from Men in Black.
Thank you, Will Smith.
Agent K, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is what I was thinking about. The universe, infinite.
Yep.
So if he's like, hey, I'll show you all this interesting stuff. It is the theory that every version of ourself exists out there in the idea that like every time we make a decision, there is another universe in which we made the opposite decision or something along those lines, let's say. So all I need to do is travel around for the cosmos, the universe for a long time. Oh, cool. This is lots of fun. Seeing lots of cool stuff. Getting intelligent with alien science.
Yeah.
Can be. Then I'm like, you know what? I want to go back home, but I can't. Oh no, because this alien dude, apparently that was just part of the deal for some fucking reason. I would say, let's find the other universe that I am also in, or the part of the universe, because it's another one, but part of the universe, because it's infinite, where I left, but didn't rack up the debt first. Just slip back into society then. People be like, oh my God, Nelson, you were missing for like 20 years or something. And I'd be like, just got some milk or something, and then, just checking all my assets are all cool now. And they're like, yeah. In fact,
that's definitely canceled.
They appreciated in value. Nelson, you're rich right now. That's the scenario, that I imagine is going to happen.
There is also, because the universe, unknowably big, possibly infinite.
Yeah.
So all possibilities are on the table.
Yeah.
So there is the possibility that Earth is actually the most interesting part of the universe. And then you leave, going to infinite places that are less interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea that you go to a planet and there's just like an alien that's just sort of built a wooden shed. And the alien that's taking the Earth's like, huh? Check it out.
It's built a structure.
It's made of wood. Yeah. Anyway, should we hop to the next one?
It'll take 140 years.
Oh, God. Yeah. It could be a horrible change. Anyway, I'd take the risk. Anything to get me out of this fucking podcast. Okay, Canberra, let's get into Today I Advised. So now it's time for Today I Learned. Today I learned. And also sometimes advice. This advice, it was in relationship advice, which I realize I don't normally look at, and I'm going to start doing that more often. Oh. Lots of juicy content in that one.
Well, you have no reason to look at relationship advice.
Yeah. Only relationship advice, me and myself.
And now it's a loophole. You're like, haha, well, now I do because it's content for a podcast.
Yeah. I'm so lonely. Okay. This is by Thrower. Love, no lust. I am not sure I want to propose to my girlfriend because of our sex life. Short summary. We've been living together for a long time, 7+ years, and I do believe she is the one for me. We are happy. I miss her when I'm not around her. She's my first kiss and the first person I've slept with. However, our sex life is non-existent, and it's weighing more on me than ever before. In 2020, I don't think we made love more than 10 times. We're both in our late 20s. I don't know what to do. I want her to be my wife. I even picked out a ring. However, I'm afraid that it'll only get worse.
Now, here's some crazy advice.
Okay.
If you're with a long-term partner,
yes,
and you're having an issue like that, you could always bring it up.
Okay, Cambo, I need to do something.
Yep.
This is very important. I mentioned that I'm just starting to get into the relationship advice to add to this segment. I'm going to veto you saying that communication is the answer.
Okay, right.
Because I guarantee you, 100% of the time, communication is the answer.
Yeah, I think, how they have the rules for a subreddit?
Yeah,
I think relationship advice, like, obviously not communication.
Yeah.
We're not going to communicate with our partners here.
Yeah, this is not part of the solution process in any way. I mean, it is. Whoa. Hey, I'm going to stop myself right there and say absolutely 100% of the time, just communicate with your partner.
But the problem is the whole subreddit relationship advice is a very boring one. If you're like, well, just talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to talk about my feelings, am I? I'm just going to tell them how I feel.
Oh, I got a problem and got to resolve it, am I? With talking it out. Anywho, so...
And then someone else is like, hire a hooker, and then that gets upvoted.
Yeah. Like, that's obviously the solution. So now that I vetoed that, Camber, I'd like better advice.
Okay,
please. Well, actually, more. You know what? You don't have to provide advice. I just thought this was sort of, maybe an interesting topic, maybe something that people have experienced themselves. A lack of a lower sex drive in a relationship. Or something.
And I think that every relationship goes through like ebbs and flows of sexual interest and stuff like that. Like that's a natural thing. So the thing I want to know is, and I want you to provide these answers. How long, like null and void is that's such a total statement, but I don't believe it is like completely null and void. Like how long has it been since they've had sex, and how long has that been going on? Is it like 4 years of zero sex whatsoever, or is it like 2 to 3 months they've only had sex once or twice? Because there's like a difference between those two.
Yeah. Well, they said 10 times in 2020. So that's
just under once a month.
Once a month bar 2 months, which is obviously May and August. We know why.
You don't, listener, but we do.
Yeah, we know. I've been on a trip around the cosmos, and I understand life's secrets. Yeah. May and August, go fuck yourselves.
10 times in 2020. Right. So, that's not a heap.
Yeah. Okay. This is my question for you. And this is more awkward because you are in a relationship. But how little sex do you think you would have to have? How infrequent would it have to be for you to be like, okay, this is an issue now, and my relationship might change over that?
Obviously, I'm fucking all the time.
Yeah.
2-3 times a day.
Yeah. Not always with Stacey, obviously. You need to get it somewhere.
Random dudes down in the truck stop.
Yeah.
Gotta get my fix.
They're so easy.
Get my fix, get me some trucker dicks. That's what I say.
It's your slogan, if you like, for life.
So I've got it tattooed down my forearm.
Yeah.
One arm, need my fix. Other arm, trucker dicks.
Yeah.
Before I'd bring it up, did you say?
Yeah. Before it would be like start to be a problem. You're like, okay.
Without. Here's the thing. Yeah. I don't know. I know what I'm comfortable with saying.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Stacey's comfortable with me saying. But Stacey and I have had points before where we were like, we should have sex more. Okay, and then just like kind of picked up our sex. That's the thing, that we communicated. And you don't want that. You don't want that here.
Yeah.
But like we have done it before where we've been like, we haven't had sex that much lately. We should have sex more.
Yeah.
Like as blunt as that.
Which I think is such an interesting thing. I mean, okay, God, we are getting back into the communication thing, which is the answer. But it is, I think, the fact that it is a taboo topic, seen as a taboo topic in most cases. Yeah,
which is crazy to me. I think like it's such a natural human thing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's because it's kind of like, well, who do you talk to this about? It's like,
but if not the person you're having sex with.
Oh no, I mean before that, like, is in to know that it is not shouldn't be taboo. It's like, who tells you in your life?
Yeah.
Do your parents sit you down and say, hey, sometimes you need to talk to your partner about how often you have sex? That's like not a conversation, but maybe it should be. Maybe that's actually where the communication needs to start.
Yeah, right.
Is actually like teaching people that it's okay to have these conversations or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's like a good point. But you still didn't answer the question, Camber. How many? If you went 6 months without sex, you're like, okay, this is a problem.
Yeah, for sure. But again, I don't even remember how long we had not had sex for. It probably actually embarrassing. It wasn't even that long.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like, I don't know, like a month or something. And we're like, we haven't had sex in a month. What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean,
so clearly we didn't get however far without bringing it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not many truckers around when COVID hit, was there?
I know, that's the problem.
Yes, really dries it up. Okay, yeah, it's a tricky question to put a thing on, and it's because you're so easily can just rectify it with
I feel like I'm pretty open with a lot of the stuff, as is Stacey. So it hasn't really been an issue yet.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. But yeah, like it's how do I answer this without the answer being communication?
I mean, you can be. Look, I'm not saying. All I'm saying is, that can't be,
because every other answer is kind of wrong. You can't be like, well, secretly have sex with her. No.
Whoa.
See what I'm saying? It's like Yeah. Every other answer is kind of wrong without communicating.
What if, okay, because this scenario specifically is quite interesting to me because he is convinced this is the person that he's going to marry. He loves the shit out of this person.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that there could be a scenario where he's like, okay, I want to basically kind of be in an open relationship, but just purely because he finds the need to, he's got a higher sex drive and he needs to work that out. He still loves this person. He wants to be with it, but he just emotionally can't not have sex for too long. Do you think that is a, sort of suitable thing? Like, could you imagine, being in that situation either as him or as the woman? Like, to me, that would be such a difficult conversation to have. Somebody that I totally, absolutely love. Could I allow them to sleep with somebody else because maybe I don't have the same sort of sex drive that they do?
Yeah, it's, the thing is, I agree with you. I think it would be hard to do. But there are relationships that do it.
Yeah.
So I guess it's really dependent on who you are and what you need and what you are comfortable with. Like, because the instinct is to be like, oh, no, I don't think so. But clearly I'm wrong because people do it.
Yeah.
And it works for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you know what I think about also?
What's that?
Just from my perspective here, right? So I haven't been in a relationship for many years now, which means that the amount of sex I have is low-ish. And
I see you down at the truck stop.
I would, yeah. I said low-ish. But I wonder if that's lowered my sex drive in a relationship. Because it's been quite a few years now. So I'm not sure what it's like to be in a relationship now and have the sex. And then I wonder if that makes it different. Like, for example, this person, maybe he's been in, they've been in a relationship for 7 years, which is quite a long time. But, maybe it could just be that past experiences of two different people.
Yeah. And also, maybe it also comes down to the kind of sex you're having. Like, maybe you need to try different things.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe that will... Because, if you're having the same sex every single time, what did I say, 7 years?
They've been together for 7 years.
Yeah. So let's say that if they've been together, they've probably been having sex for 7 years.
Yeah.
Same standard menu every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get pretty tired of that. So I can understand the want for it to be less. But if you're doing interesting things...
Try a truck stop.
Everybody should do it.
Sometimes it's a bit of a fun game. Try and find the right angles,
In the back of a weird truck cab.
If you like geometry, maybe that's the type of sex for you. Oh, no. Are we getting an update, Cambo? It's fine. We're still recording. Don't worry about it.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God. All right. Let's move on to shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought is by Enough to Be Dangerous. People with cooking shows / channels don't actually have to be any good. People can taste what they make. And if people make the recipe on their own and it sucks, they just think they did it wrong.
This is interesting to me. Is there anything else that we don't need skill to be appreciated for?
I think there's a lot of DIY things in general. Like, hey, this is how you build a cabinet. And before you go to the final image, swap it in for something that you only need to be roughly correct with how something looks.
Yeah. Editing is your real friend there, isn't it? Here are all the supplies. I'm putting 2 bits together, and here's the cabinet.
Yeah. Just do this a bunch of times. Then it'll turn into this.
Put this bit to that bit, etc.
Yeah. Problem.
I find that with you get these DIY craft videos on like they're big on like pages on Facebook and stuff. You always see, I don't know, like your aunties and whatnot share stuff like this. And there's always a stage in that DIY craft thing where I'm like, you've now passed the line to where it's like practical everyday things.
Yes.
Like blow up a balloon. I can do that. Get a couple of felt markers. All right, yeah, I guess I got some felt markers. Now get all this extra material that we also have lying around and paste it in all these different ways, and you've created a scene. You're like, whoa, hang on.
Yeah. Just go to your forge and smelt a sword.
A small 3-inch long metal, and it has to be copper. Now, copper wire that you thread through, like that's a very specific thing. I don't ever have that lying around.
Yeah, that is annoying. Actually, I find that a culprit of this is the life hacks.
Yeah.
Because life hacks in a video, I feel like you can manipulate so well. Like, you know, it'll be like, oh, get wine stains out with watermelon rind. Can't write that one down. Doesn't that sound believable?
It does sound believable.
Then, I feel like you can easily edit those things together because sometimes it's like you'll need to do this for 30 minutes or, over a couple of days and, put salt on it in between or, just like stupid things. So you're like, well, I can't watch a video this entire long. So they do that swipe where it's like, and now this is what it looks like. So it's like so very easy to just fake any of those life hack tips. And in fact, there is a lot of, of those tips kind of being busted online, but often way less views than the actual original view.
My main problem with life hacks are, I don't think that many of them are that convenient. I think it should just be called a different way to do something. Yeah. So a lot of time it'll be like, get a stain out this way. I'm like, you could do that, yeah. But you could also just get detergent and get it out that way. It's just a different way to do that thing.
Like there's a cleaning product for this that will work way better.
In a pinch, sure.
Yeah.
I don't have any cleaning product. I have an excess of watermelon.
Yeah. It's like, that's true. There is sometimes very specific scenarios that they'll say for this life hack. Like trying to put a nail in the wall but don't have a hammer.
It's things like that.
Very, specific, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen one where it's like a DIY cheap phone case. And it was like they blew up a balloon and they pressed the thing into it and then they explode the balloon and it wrapped around the phone. And I was like, but that's not better than a phone case. It offers no protection. It's just a thing you can do. That's what they're called.
It should have been.
Let's start a life hacks page. It's called Things You Can Do.
But, and in brackets, probably shouldn't.
Don't. And then it'll be like that, kind of like that real chirpy ukulele style music. Face down cam, we show something, and then it says at the end, but don't do this.
But this is not really, it should be. Maybe we should do life hacks where it's stuff like that, but then at the end is we also show somebody just purchasing like a phone cover.
Is this like a genius ad campaign? For like I don't know, like what's that? Otto, I think Otto is the phone cover brand. They're like a lot of construction people wear because they're very tough.
Yeah.
So we do a life hack video where we do the balloon one where it goes.
Yeah.
And then we drop it and smash it, and then we just bring out the case, and then the logo comes up for that brand. And I'd be like, well, I would rather that brand actually. Okay. Because we're making people believe they've got two options. That brand of phone case or wrapping a balloon.
Pop a balloon around your phone. Okay. Yeah. So essentially we've just created a YouTube channel that's advertising.
And it's called Things You Could Do But Don't.
Yeah. And obviously we'll still have ads at the start and end of the video, regardless.
I'm thinking mid-roll as well.
Yeah.
Mid-roll ad, obviously. Then at the end, we're like, thanks for watching, guys. This video was also brought to you. Like, we'll do this spoken sponsor too.
So many. Oh my God, we're going to make so much money from this. Here's another one. This is by Sam the Gang. The richest person on Earth is technically also the richest person in the universe, since our different definition of rich is owning a lot of Earth money, and there's no way for extraterrestrial life to obtain it.
Well, this is only true, Nelson, if we don't, rack up all that debt. We throw a lot of cash at the cosmos.
I see. I think this is a interesting.
I tell you what, just quickly, I just thought about this for even a second.
Yeah.
You need to rack up a lot of debt to become richer than the richest guy in the world.
Yeah,
Because even then, if you got like arms full of cash floating through the cosmos, he's still richer than you.
yeah. You need, and it's really hard to get a bank loan of like $5 billion.
Let alone how much like Elon Musk has just come into, right? Hasn't he overtaken Bezos recently, or
yeah, I think there was something about that. Yeah.
It's like 176 billion or something.
Cambo, we did say that we vetoed him as the patron saint of this podcast. Should we veto that and get him back in again? We veto the veto.
But what does that gain us in the short term?
He's the richest man in the world, Cambo.
Yeah, but
in the universe.
But Bezos was, and he wasn't the patron saint.
I know, but I hadn't really thought about that.
Oh, right. So now that you've considered,
Yeah.
right.
Because if we are going to get any money from this podcast, it'll be because we are, worshipping to some degree the richest man in the world. He might be like, that's hilarious. Here's $1 million.
Here's what we do. If we can unveto it, but we send him an invoice for patronhood.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we could do that?
Yeah, give it a go.
Like, because there are, you can work out where like SpaceX is or something.
Yeah. I think if we do it with
Just
enough
send it
confidence, send it through, be like, just send this to accounts payable. Payable ASAP. Please.
Yeah. No, I still want it to come from his own pocket. I don't want like some accountant in SpaceX to be like, oh, I guess we'll just pay this one. I want Elon to be like, oh man, didn't realize I was having to pay for this.
Nelson, I would love to be lost in the paperwork with this one. And actually, the less Elon knows that he's paying us, I think the better.
Yeah. I mean, more realistic, sure, if it actually happened. Anywho, what's this about?
Richest person in the universe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing, right? If you're the richest person, you're like, haha, I'm the richest person in the universe. But if you are like basically anything below that, it becomes a much more depressing statement. When you're like, I'm amongst the poorest people in the universe. It just makes it all that more worse, for your financial responsibility.
And that's all that the ultra rich need, is another way to be a victim somehow.
Okay, but also how about this for a concept? If we were to define rich, I would say the ability to survive warrants some kind of like value to it, And so we assume there's life in other parts of the universe. And so if there are organisms that are starving from day to day, just trying to get their little bits of stuff or whatever, or even just, alien intelligent life on other parts of the planet, and they have 0 Glorgons to their name, then, I can provide food for myself and shelter and whatnot. So maybe in that sense, I'm actually richer than other things in the rest of the universe.
You've essentially just somehow explained like a very old Christian fable about the 2 men donating to their church.
Really?
And the rich man puts in like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And then the poor man just puts in like a shekel.
Okay.
And Jesus said, this man has given more than you. And the rich person's like, well, I gave that. And he goes, yes, but that is all he had. And and you're saying the same basic thing, being like, it's about the value of what you have.
Yes.
As like a life more than the monetary value of it, right? So you're saying that the idea of that you can provide for yourself and you are self-sustaining and have enough to get by doesn't really matter about the money or the value of it. It's like that is what's valuable. That's what makes you richer than someone who doesn't, right?
Yes, sort of. Yeah, we'll say it's close enough. Should we do one more? Okay. Nah, let's not. Right. Screw the next person. Let's get into podnapping.
Oh my god, I'm being podnapped! Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another podcast and we do it ourselves, which is the intro that I always do. But just for any new listeners, you should know that's almost never the case. Almost never. And we often just do different fun things in this segment.
For new listeners, you should also know we dread it. Every week we dread it.
Every week.
Have you ever tried to come up with a segment? Do that every week.
Do that every week.
Every week. So, dreading it. Dreading it.
Yeah.
Swiping through the emails. Saw an email.
Yeah.
Headline, I made a podnapping quiz. Day made.
Best 10 syllables that we could ever hope for.
So this is from...
I made a podnapping quiz.
Oh.
It's only 7.
I was going to say, hopefully no one else counter-logged that.
Cool. Is what we would prefer, but that is also acceptable.
This is from Eva.
Yeah.
It says, hello, gentlemen. It's Eva, your reluctant immigrant to the USA correspondent or Germany correspondent, whichever you prefer. A while back, you guys asked if I still had my German accent. Well, I had my accent bullied out of me by American kids in school. I would stay up for hours at night repeating words and sounds to sound just like an American. Now I only have an accent if I'm super drunk or if I've been speaking too much German that day.
What's really interesting is I actually met somebody recently who was, I think, of Ireland descent, and she told
They call them Irish.
Yeah, sure.
You don't seem to believe me.
No, because, well, I guess she's got the accent, so she probably is Irish. But, like, sometimes if you're of descent, it doesn't mean you're... Anyway, and she told the exact same story where she was bullied in school when she came to Australia for the accent. So then she purposefully, went through this. I just feel like it's really interesting. It must be, a actually pretty common thing if you have an accent from another country. But, yeah, kind of sad that you... have to go through that and do that. And she also said the same thing of when she gets drunk, her Irish accent comes out. So.
It is sad that you should be so proud of your heritage. Like Germany is such.
Maybe not Germany, you know.
No, but Germany,
but like anybody else.
Apart from the one thing we are all thinking of, is actually a really interesting culture. They've got a lot of beautiful foods and so much about their country is beautiful. That you can just get that bullied away from you. It's a really sad thing.
Yeah.
So sub-story aside, I made a quiz for you guys, and if you want to use it for podnapping segment, I hope at least it's moderately interesting. Happy New Year and all that. So we've got 2 PDF documents here, Nelson. One is the quiz questions, and then the other is the answers.
Start with the answers. Guess the questions.
She hasn't thought this through. Because it is alphabetical, so answers are at the top.
Well, I mean...
So the quiz is, who invented it? Australia versus USA edition. Rules. Each of these inventions came from either Australia or the USA. You must get at least 5 questions correct in order to be crowned Lord of the Fuckhead Podcast listeners. Bonus. One of these is a trick question and was invented by a German. If you get that right, you will also become honorary schnitzel.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing. I think
we
we need to document our answers in some way.
Yeah, we'll just say them and remember. Come on, I know you've got a terrible memory, but mine's a fox.
Good. A famous.
It's not great. It's just above average, I think.
Similar to an undomesticated small dog. Are you ready? We need question. We need 5 of them to become Lord of the Fuckhead Podcast listeners, and we need to sniff the rat out of whichever one was invented by the German.
Honestly, I want to become honorary schnitzel. I don't care about any other thing.
Question 1. Was Google Maps created in Australia or the USA? Now, do we claim some kind of thing with GPS in Australia? I have a feeling that is at least partly tied to Australia.
Right.
I know. Maybe I checked this isn't coming up, but I know that Wi-Fi, I believe, is Australian. And
okay,
in fact, question 3 is about the GPS.
Okay. Well, that still might feed into this,
and I could be wrong. Is the thing?
Yeah, that could be wrong.
Google Maps.
I don't really have any thing to even warrant, I guess, aside from Google American company.
Yeah. And well, that's what I'm thinking. Legally, are they like everything Google makes is technically American?
Well, I'm assuming that if it is Australia, it'll be like an Australian company created a maps thing, and then Google bought them out, and that became Google Maps. That's how I'm assuming that kind of happened. I'm just going to go with American invented.
Would she do the trick one straight away?
Oh no, I forgot about the whole German thing. No, I imagine there's going to be a sauerkraut question in there.
So we're gonna go with the USA.
Okay. Oh, now you've got me paranoid that the German one is the first one. Okay.
So you gotta be paranoid about the Germans. There's sneaky.
There's one thing you should do.
Question number 2. Was the pacemaker invented by an Australian doctor or an American doctor, brackets, or by him?
Oh, could it have been him? His last name is Pacemaker. So could be just an odd coincidence. What do you think for this? Do you have any logic behind it?
No. There are several like.
Wait, what did you say for the first one?
Oh, I've just agreed with you.
Okay,
I figured we're just going to do these together.
Oh, okay.
Because
I mean, you could go against.
No, I never would.
Okay.
Here's the thing. There's a couple of inventions that like Australians get kind of cocky about. I think being like, oh, like Wi-Fi is one of them.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi was invented in a university in Australia.
Yeah.
We invented the Hills hoist.
Yeah.
No one else had invented a Lamington before, and then we'd invented the Lamingtons, and then New Zealanders like, I think we invented that.
Yeah. Pavlova definitely came from New Zealand.
But pacemaker isn't one that I've heard.
Well, see, the weird thing is, I feel like I have, but it's such a like distant memory because honestly, who gives a shit? But I feel so. I actually want to say Australian for this one.
Yeah, okay. I for no reason, I'm vibing Australian as well. Okay. Number 3. People from which country invented the GPS?
Okay, so you're pretty confident this is Australian thing.
Well, for some reason, it's something that it seems
in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
And you thought that before you read the question, which gives me more confidence in your answer.
Are you confident in that answer?
I'm confident in your confidence.
Okay, well that makes one of us being confident.
Okay,
but we're going to lock in Australia.
Okay.
So far we've said American invented Google Maps.
Yeah.
But an Australian invented a pacemaker and the GPS.
Yeah.
Question 4 seems like a trap. I'm going to be honest with you.
German.
Did Ugg boots originate in Australia or the USA? Now, I would say something that is tied to Australia, definitely. Mm-hmm. Their logo's a kangaroo. They're seen as a very Australian thing. But then again, like fortune cookies, for example, not
from China, not made. Okay. Here's what I'd like to say about this. My somebody that I knew, he was English, and his nieces for Christmas really wanted Ugg boots, and he went to Ugg, like the Ugg boot of Australia, right? Like there's a company that's like, we are the ones that create Ugg boots.
Yeah.
And she was disappointed when she got them because that wasn't the knockoff brand that her friends were wearing that were more popular. Even though his came from Australia,
right?
And like you said, could be a trick question, but like known from being manufactured in Australia.
Yeah, Australian wool is their big thing.
Yeah. So to me, that indicates that it is still an Australian invention because the knockoffs came from somewhere else. Like they weren't the Ugg brand.
Okay, so we're going to go Australian.
Oh, I don't know.
Here's the thing. Australian seems obvious.
Could have been the Germans. Sneaky Germans.
Ugg, is that German sounding? Oh, see, Ugg-boot.
Can we do this? Can we go through them all and just do Australian or American, but then at the end
review?
Choose the German one.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
There's a definite red herring coming up. I'll say that. In fact, no, the red herring is next. Okay. Question 5. Did German chocolate cake originate in the USA or Australia? I'm going to say USA. I think USA love getting a food and claiming it's from a different country.
Yeah, it's like a real big marketing tactic.
Yeah, we mentioned fortune cookies. There's a thing in America called the bloomin' onion, which is seen as an Australian thing. I've never fucking heard of it before in my life.
Yeah.
No one in Australia knows what that is, but it's seen as an Australian food.
There's also a particular ice cream, called I don't know.
I mean, there's
Bolivian ice cream or something that's like totally fake. Like it was 100% a marketing thing. So yeah, I'm happy to go America too. I think.
Okay. Question number 6: was the wine box invented in America or Australia?
Oh, that's so specific.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have a lot of,
and we call them goon bags. They come in a box, but we get the box out, put the bag on a Hills hoist, and play Goon of Fortune.
Is that what they mean? Oh yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. My initial reaction, and probably totally off the mark, was like, there's like those little carriers that hold 6 wine bottles.
No, I think they're talking about the cheap wine that comes in a box in a sack.
That makes way more sense.
It's part of Australian culture. I want you guys to know this, that you take the sack out of the box, you hook it on a clothesline or a Hills hoist or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But one that spins.
Yeah.
And you spin it around and you play Goon of Fortune.
Goon of Fortune. Yeah. Everybody loses.
Everybody
Nobody is fortunate in that game, that's for sure.
Wine box. Again, that's something I'm pretty sure this is Australian.
Yeah.
But then we've been saying Australian so much.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But I think it is. I think it's Australian.
Okay, yeah.
Question 7. Was the gummy bear invented in the USA or
For
Australia?
fuck's sake.
Or German?
Oh, German.
We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it.
Oh, we should come back to it. But honestly, I think this could be a German one. It could be a German one. They made it during war or something weird like that,
What update have you from the war? Well, I've created these gummy bears.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's where Spam came from, Canberra.
Yep.
Everybody loves Spam.
And like Fanta, I think.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Maybe.
And gummy bears from the Germans. Okay.
It seems like an
know.
American thing. We
It
don't
does
really
seem
have
like
bears here.
I actually love gummy bears. It's my favorite thing.
Well, you're an Australian.
Oh my God. Let's go American.
Was the crash test dummy invented by an Australian or an American?
I actually think that one might be. We've said Australia so much.
I agree with you. For some reason, I think it's Australian.
Yeah, because we've done. Oh, it could be German. We're getting back to it. We're getting back to that.
Get back to it.
Could be, because they're a car.
Yeah.
People. They're a car people.
They're a car people.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't really like the movie Cars.
Yeah.
Where they're like car people.
You just picture Germany as like some kind of human car hybrids. But I feel like it is Australian. God, everyone must be laughing at us so much right now. Okay, question number 9. Was the slinky invented by an Australian or an American?
I want to say German again. Oh, wait. I think I maybe know the story about this. Or like I heard about it was somebody trying to create a spring and then accidentally like knocked it off.
Yeah.
And literally that's where the slinky came from.
And
that's all the information I have.
And did he go, God damn it? Or did he go, oh, crikey?
I think he said, Gesundheit.
9! Mein Spring!
Yes.
Is this offensive, Eva? Just let us know.
Yeah, it's fine.
To me, Slinky, what that brings to mind is this like Americanism of like you can sell anything. So someone's been like, I got this thing, I'm going to sell a bunch of them because like it is the country of like opportunistic businesses.
Yeah.
So if for some reason it seems quite American to me to be like, we've got these things, we could just start selling them as toys.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're not agreeing? You're vibing Australian?
I'm vibing. I'm actually vibing more Germany. Is that weird?
It is a bit weird because there's no reason.
No real reason. I think that let's go America.
Okay.
Let's go America.
2 more questions. Question number 10. In which country was the sport of water skiing invented? Australia or the USA? This one I don't even have a vibe on.
No, I don't either. Let's go America. We've done Australia a
Yeah,
lot.
And question 11, was the concept of war insurance conceived by Australian or in the USA?
Oh, Australia.
War insurance?
Yep.
All right. You're pretty confident with that.
That's actually a trick question.
Is it?
Can be. We came up with war insurance. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I don't think war insurance is a thing. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think we spoke about it once as a joke.
Yep.
Ha.
That does ring a bell now.
Okay.
But it also wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a quick review and try and sniff the German. Okay. Google Maps, we're going to say...
Not the first time we've tried to sniff the Germans out, am I right?
We're going to say Google Maps was invented by an American.
Okay, yep.
We're going to say a pacemaker was invented by an Australian. We're going to say the GPS was invented by an Australian. We're going to say Ugg boots originated in Australia. We're going to say German chocolate cake was from America.
Yeah.
We're going to say the wine box was invented by an Australian.
Sure.
We're going to say gummy bears were invented by an American.
Sure.
We're going to say the crash test dummy was invented by an Australian. The slinky, we're smelling German, but we've said American.
Yeah, I'm so uncertain about that. Okay.
Water ski, we said America because we'd said Australia a lot. And war insurance, we think maybe we invented, so in Australia.
Yeah.
Which of those is smelling German to you?
Okay. I want to say the crash test dummy or, still the slinky. I don't know. Maybe I'm just...
If you can't get slinky out of your head, I'm happy to do it.
I think that I'm convincing myself.
Oh, right.
But not for a good reason.
You've got confirmation bias.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be true, so it's true.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm going to veto that one.
Okay.
I've gone completely opposite.
Wow.
Okay. So then it could be the crash test dummy, but that's also pretty obvious. What else we got through? We'll throw out a few. Google Maps, maybe.
GPS, wine box, gummy bears.
Oh, yeah. See, could be gummy bears.
Because we discussed maybe
that
it was during the war. Do we say it was gummy bears and they were invented during the war?
Yeah, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I think we should commit to that.
Answers are locked in. Do we now check the answers?
Could we get half a point if it's crash test dummy? And also full points if it's the slinky.
Since Eva didn't specify. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. You know
I
what?
reckon we can get a point even if it's wrong.
You know what? I've just realized.
What?
At the start of this, I said, all I want to be is the schnitzel.
Yeah.
If we just said Germany for every single one of them. I found the loophole. I would like to change, before I know the answer, I'd like to change all my answers to Germany.
And I will stick with the original ones.
Okay,
Good. Okay. Google Maps was invented by an Australian.
Okay. Oh, we said American, did we? Shit.
By a pair of Sydney-based developers, brothers La and Jane. Okay, each of them has quite a long explanation, but we're running a bit over.
Okay.
Let's post this on our subreddit.
Okay, yeah.
Because there is a lot of work gone into this, and I don't want it to go to waste.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much.
So the next one, the pacemaker, was invented by Australian.
Okay, cool. Yeah, see, I just had a weird feeling about that one.
At the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital in Sydney.
I also did just have a 50-50 chance.
GPS, the USA.
Oh, Cambo, you led us on the false path for that.
Maybe
It's
I
funny
had
that
them
it switched, isn't it?
But
Yeah.
maybe I had them inversed.
Yeah. Okay.
Ugg boots, Australia.
Aha! Okay.
We knew it, and we always knew it. We never doubted it.
Yeah, not even a slight doubt.
German chocolate cake, the USA.
Yeah.
So the next one is the
We're close to 5.
wine box,
Oh, wine box, yeah.
Australia.
What did we say? We said Australia.
We said Australia.
Oh
In
my
1965,
God, we're
Australian
genius.
winemaker created the bag in a box. Or we call them goon bags.
Goon bags, yeah.
Fun fact. Okay. Number 7, gummy bears.
Oh my God, please be Germany. Please be Germany. Please be Germany.
Germany.
Oh my God, life is complete. They made them in the war.
After seeing trained bears at festivals across Germany, German entrepreneur Hans Riegel was inspired to create a delicious, sweet, chewy gummy bear in the early 1920s. Riegel's candy company, Haribo, continues making gummy bears to this day.
Haribo. Oh my God.
1920.
On the nose.
You know what? That's between wars. So there's still a war vibe.
War inspired. It was made outside of war. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. I cannot believe we got that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So Crash Test Dummies. We said Australian.
Yeah. Did we? Yeah. No. Wait, did we? Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, sure.
American.
Yes.
So the next one was the Slinky. We said American.
Yeah.
The USA. We got that
Oh,
correct.
yeah.
So I think so far we've only
actually
got
done
one
pretty
wrong.
well. Yeah.
Because somehow we got German.
Yes.
Water skiing. Do you remember what we said for water skiing in our great reasoning?
We said America because we had Australia too many times.
Yes, and it was invented by an American.
Oh, yeah.
And then the last thing is war insurance.
Yeah. I said us.
Yeah,
I think us specifically.
I will read the explanation.
Okay.
This groundbreaking concept of war insurance was invented and developed by an Australian inventors, Nelson and Campbell.
Yes!
Who are best known for creating the internet's auditory version of Reddit.
Yes!
We did it, Nelson.
Oh my god, we did so much better on that than I thought we would.
Me too.
Oh my god.
Me too. That was awesome. Thank you so much for creating that and sending that through.
Yeah, that was. Oh my god, I can't believe.
This might be my proudest moment.
This is, yeah, definitely. We've hit a peak.
We have hit a peak.
We've hit a peak. No, wait. So how many do we actually? Because we got two wrong. Because I remember the GPS and the Google Maps one we switched, right? So
yes.
it's at least two.
Yes, you.
Did we
you
get
are
another
right.
one wrong towards the end?
Let me open the thing back up 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do this to you.
I got out of it.
But anyway, you know what? No, screw it. It's fine. We've got more than 50%.
Okay. Yeah. I think that we have claimed the title. Most importantly.
Yeah.
Of Schnitzel.
Schnitzel?
Honorary Schnitzel.
Yeah.
But I think we are Lord of the Fuckhead podcast listeners.
Oh my God.
Someone send us crowns.
Here's the thing. I would like our listeners to write in and tell us how poorly they did
And
versus us.
If you are someone that is a self-claimed fuckhead listener,
Yeah.
you one of two. You're either a podcast listener or a fuckhead.
Yeah.
Please write in and just let us know that you do accept us as your lords, and that you will, vow your what's the right word?
Money.
Yes.
To us, always.
Thank you, Eva.
Thank you, Eva. Okay, should we just do one AMA?
Yeah.
Okay. This AMA, you can write into us and do stuff. This is by Jive Taspetry 679. It's 4:30 where I am and I can see the sun starting to come. And I haven't slept a blink because I have been scrolling TikTok and YouTube. So if this email sounds weird, that's why. My question is, what's the longest you've gone without sleeping and why? Sorry for not writing in for a long time, lol. Well, I suppose that's okay.
And we missed him.
We missed you, Jive Taspetry.
I don't know if it's the longest, but I think the most delirious we got was when we entered the 48-hour film competition.
Yeah.
Because we stayed up. I don't even know if it was 48 hours. We may have got an hour or two somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think we did sleep a little
in small
bit.
intervals. But we had several cameras, a case of Red Bull, and a vague film idea that resulted in the evacuation of an entire facility.
Yeah.
We won't get into it here.
Yeah.
But we evacuated hundreds of people from a facility because we were filming there and something went wrong. Under the lack of sleep we had, we decided we could finish it in a garage.
Yeah.
We couldn't.
Well,
but
no,
we did.
Yeah, we did. We did. Yeah.
And
we
then,
finished it.
And then by the end, once it was, because then after that, we still had to edit it. And then at that point, we did deliriously think it would be a good idea to sing the theme song to the movie. We rendered that and we handed it in and said, I think we did okay.
Yeah. Turns out we did not.
We did not. Because the screening was like a week later.
Yeah.
And we watched it very sober at that screening.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the apparentness of its awfulness.
Yeah. It was, I remember you just couldn't hear anything the whole time. Like you couldn't hear any of the dialogue.
Yeah.
Which was really important to the story.
Which now that when we went and saw Tenet, I'm like, I get it, Chris.
Yeah.
You think you got it on the day.
Have a nap, mate. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That's 48 hours ish.
That was that. Yeah, ish. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't reckon I remember a time necessarily where I was just up for ages, but I remember having like small amounts of sleep. Like one time I was working at the cinema, and I was also working at Officeworks, which is like Staples in America.
Yep.
And the Officeworks was doing a refurbishment, and so we were doing a lot of overnight work. So I had a shift at the cinema in the morning, then I went straight to Officeworks, did an overnight shift, and then worked in the cinema again in the morning. So there was literally like, I had like half an hour sleep in my car between both.
Yeah.
Like there was a really short turnaround, and that was probably the least I've slept in such a long period of time. I reckon even worse than the 48-hour film festival that we did. But yeah, not advisable.
We don't recommend it.
No, have a nap.
That's our motto. Have
a nap. But that was it. So thank you for writing in, Jive, Taspatry. Thank you, Eva.
Here's the thing, Nelson. Long episode.
Yep.
Gone a little over the hour that we normally go for. Mm-hmm. We've done every segment. Now, we do have a Secret Santa here.
Yes, we do.
Now, the podcast is a little late this week.
Yeah.
Is an extra bit of content a hindrance or a welcome thing? Do we save this or do we do it now as a bit of a bonus? The podcast over, you can go if you want.
Yeah.
Or you can stick around.
Yeah.
And we will open this.
Are you saying that to me? Can I go?
Yeah.
You just open it up. I'm going to go have dinner.
Do we even play the theme so people think it's over? And then after about 10 seconds, so we'll lower it down and go, okay, they're gone. They're people that have gone.
Yeah.
They've gone.
They were like,
yeah.
I'm satisfied that was an episode that is finished. Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, and we will read you later.
All right, enough of that.
Yeah. They're out of here, obviously.
Now, Nelson, I received my Secret Santa gift.
Did you? Or is it another package from somebody that's irrelevant to
I'm fairly confident.
to this podcast? I don't know who would open a package that's irrelevant to this podcast on the podcast.
Look, I'm fairly confident because it's from Sweden, and I don't remember ordering too much from Sweden in the past.
Yes.
So that fills me with some confidence.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've pre-cut because this was wrapped. Let me tell you that. It was wrapped tight. So I didn't want to spend 10 minutes at the end of a podcast unwrapping.
Yeah.
But I've yet to open. I've yet to breach.
It is bonus content at this point, Cameron.
Yeah,
so unwrapping it could have been part of the
really
excitement.
take our time with this bonus content.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
We just get forever.
How's your day?
You know what? It was all right. Yeah.
Mine was kind of busy.
I didn't ask.
It's bonus content, though.
Yeah. But I don't really, I still don't really want to know.
Should we do the present?
I mean, I guess if you don't have any more anecdotes, it's a special and
just so you know, this is what it's like when we really don't try.
Which we know is only like slightly worse than us, you know.
But okay, I'm going to open the box now.
Okay, do it.
Here we go. Oh, it looks like we got a Christmas card. Now, Nelson, I don't want you to feel...
Well, you got a Christmas card.
Well, I don't want you to feel left out. Would you like to...
Oh, I'll read it. Okay, while you sift through that stuff. Oh, this is confusing. Okay. Nice card. Oh, wait. Can I critique this card already? So, the card is a horizontal card. He's written in it vertically.
You know what? I appreciate the guts.
I hate it.
He's not someone that lets society dictate to him what way he's going to write a
writing card. I would appreciate it more so if it was diagonal. Like, because the natural way is either vertically or horozontally. But nobody does diagonal.
That would be a real madman.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate that even more.
Okay, let me read this card.
Yep.
Merry Christmas!
Oh, jeez.
It was in capitals. So I have sent you some classic Swedish candy, mostly chocolate. Warning!
I'm seeing at least one German candy, by the way.
Oh, Mr. Haribo snuck his way.
We'll get to that.
But it's not the bears, though. So maybe the... Anyway, okay. Yes. Warning. The Dejangelero... Find that one, Cameron.
Here we go.
Okay. And I feel like I pronounced that almost correctly.
These appear to be in the shape of a monkey, but the logo is a monkey fucking the monkey.
It is. That is not a joke. It looks like a monkey fucking a monkey. Okay. Gijanlivral is really salty licorice.
Oh.
I think I have had salty licorice.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But I love licorice, so this sounds good. But at least try one. It's my favorite.
Should we try one to end the show as a bit of extra content?
Yeah.
What we'll do, we'll play the theme again. Then if you want to stick around to hear us try it, that'll be bonus content.
Yeah. Because normally try eating something on the microphone is the worst.
Yeah, the worst thing.
But okay, I hope you like it. You Secret Santa. P.S. Here is an onion, and they've put a photo in of an onion. Oh, you said something like you're allergic to onions.
It makes my throat really itchy.
Yeah. Ha!
They got me.
Eat that, Cambo.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a bunch here. There's a bunch of chocolate, a bunch of candies. Yeah, there is one.
Let's read them out in case people know them.
Yeah, please pronounce them.
Dame.
Okay,
that one is
was pretty
easy.
simple.
Keks. These are
pretty
so
simple.
easy. Oh, okay. Marabou. Boo. This one looks like hazelnut chocolate. Which I love hazelnut chocolate.
This one is Marabou, but it's Dame Marabou.
Marabou. Oh, Dame. Oh, that's completely different.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously. Oh my God, there's another Marabou, but Majolk chocolate. Oh, that's just milk chocolate. Obviously, I can.
What about this one?
Plop. This is called Plop.
Eat a bunch of plop. These ones here are the salty monkey fuckers.
The Judge a little while. I got that.
What about this one?
Bilar.
What?
Algrins Bilar.
Yep. And
Gut and blend it. That one's easy.
and then so
And then the Haribo ones,
obviously
which
German
is
confectionery as we know.
Nepal.
And they're like little gummy rings.
Gummy rings. That's
And
weird.
there's like a little bear, and he's like fucking a ring.
He is almost fucking. That is weird. They've created the character out of. No, wait. This has got to be something else. What the hell is that? It's like a rings with a stick. Is it like a child's like rattle? It looks like a child's rattle sort of shape. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's weird though.
Oh, here we go. That'll explain it down the bottom there, Nelson.
Oh, sorry. For the listeners. Gott vorwachsene Likasa.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I was actually oh no, that's the continuation of the top. The top sentence says Haribo are cool for smart. For smart. And then obviously it continues.
Yep.
Wait, that makes sense.
Yeah. Now that I've heard the first bit.
Yeah.
The second bit makes it's very good. It's very good.
Okay, are we gonna eat this licorice thing, or are we gonna, or is that bonus content?
Hey, hang on. All right, bonus
All right,
content.
back here. Extra bonus content. We're gonna eat these licorice things. Should I rip it down this way?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it makes,
Oh
shit.
god. One of the little monkey fuckers jumped out at you. Okay.
Okay.
Now we're going to end the show
smell.
properly. I will preface this with saying I don't like licorice.
Oh, this
is going to be
this
a
is
real,
gonna be horrible
a real
for
treat
you.
for me.
I like licorice and salt, so this is gonna be great.
All right.
Um,
Let's end the show and then try it.
Wait, we need to do a quick. We haven't even done the proper
God.
thanks for writing in, Ava and Jive Tapestry. If
we
you would
should
like
have
to
done that
write
before
into
everyone
us,
jumped off.
we should. You can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
You can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit. They're all READIT podcast. We'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe and
Rate the show.
Before we read you later, this is us eating salty licorice.
Oh, I don't like it.
Oh, it's pretty salty.
I don't like it at all.
It's pretty salty.
Oh, man. That's not good.
It's very salty.
Sweden should be ashamed.
We'll read you
Why have
later.
they done this?
We'll read